So the ability for students to move into another culture, to see artwork in its original state, to get an idea of where it came from and how it works is incredibly important. And I think that's true in almost any discipline, whether it's engineering, computer science, finance, international business. If you don't get out and explore the world, your possibilities are really much more limited than they would be otherwise. So the genesis of this program came because England is really one of the birthplaces of photography. There were three primary inventors of photography, two in France and one here in England. But here in England, William Henry Fox Talbot devised a process that created a negative rather than a one-of-a-kind positive. So it's what I would really consider the birth of contemporary photography. So my program is designed to have students study the history of photography, looking at 19th century work of both painters and photographers and how they were influencing each other, and then turning it into portfolios that the students create which are based on those ideas, but with their own 21st century understanding of what photography is all about. Enjoying seeing the artwork is incredible. Going to the Tate Modern Museum, going to the Victoria and Albert, going to the British Library, getting the sense of really being up close to things that are historic and original is incredibly important, and they've always enjoyed that. Places that have really interested them have been quite diverse, but the one place that almost all the students seem to gravitate towards in one way or another is going back to Margate. I take them to Margate because the Turner Contemporary Museum is there, and Turner is one of the painters that I correlate with photography. But there's something about Margate that seems to draw students back. Their experiences have been quite diverse. They enjoy getting out on their own. I encourage them to go get lost, because I think that's one of the best ways to understand where you are, is to find your own way. Go stumble on things that you wouldn't have expected. Things that they've really latched onto, though, have been very personal experiences. We've been basing ourselves in Medway, the Medway campus of the University of Kent, because it is rather convenient getting in and out of London, and it's easy to get down to the campus here at Canterbury as well. What they've really enjoyed is discovering that little small town atmosphere around Chatham, Gillingham, and Rochester. They've found it fascinating to go to High Street in Rochester, especially during the evenings. There's live music and things of that nature that sort of give them a feel of being independent and being out on their own. But they really like to find their own voice here. And I found that it starts to make their portfolios that much richer, because they start to invest themselves personally rather than just say, oh, let's look at this painter and this photographer and try to emulate what they do. People at University of Kent were very welcoming. They said, yes, please come, let us know what you need. And they've been always very welcoming, very gracious in trying to accommodate our technical needs, providing places to stay, allowing us as much freedom to design our own program as possible. And it's why we keep coming back, because the relationships that we build personally are really good, and the feel for the geography and knowing exactly where I am and where to go, where to take them.